Hi friends, it's Julia. I'm here to share my 1 kit 12 cards for February 2020. Now this kit I'm starting out with an older paper pad. It is called True Love and it is by Basic Gray and it is from 2012. I did buy it at a discount store. I bought it at Big Lots when they still had scrapbook products there. I haven't been to Big Lots in probably 3 or 4 years, so I don't even know if they still have anything. This is a kit, or this is a paper pad that started off with 36 sheets of 6x6 paper. Now I probably have used several sheets from here, but I have punched into quite a few. I have punched tons of hearts out. I have cut off bits and pieces, cut circles out. You know, I've used this to some degree. I've put it into different counterfeit kits that I've created, and I've pulled them back out and put them back in. So I've not really done a ton. I've used it some. I have created Valentine cards with this before, but I haven't utilized this entire stack, and that's what I want to do. I want to get this one used up for this year. So along with this and my whole concept of 2020 of using what I have and living within my space, one of the things that I wanted to do was get all of my 8.5 by 11 cardstock into one location. And in order to do that, I have to use some of what I have. Now, this cardstock, let me find this one piece of paper. This is the piece of paper that I use to kind of pull it all together for me. Now I have these cardstock bits and pieces that are in my stash from different companies. I think I picked them up at a scrapbooking retreat. They were in packages like this one, and they were sold for $2 each, and they're like half of an 8.5 by 11. So they're an 8.5 by a 5.5. And there's multiple colors here. Lots of pink, lots of beige, lots of peach, lots of off-white. So you see, and if you look at this one sheet of paper, I think most everything is going to go really well. So that's why I pulled all of these in, and I want to try and get these used up. I can either use them for card bases or for cutting bits and pieces for cards. Then I pulled in some 8.5 by 11. I have some beige. This top sheet almost looks green, and then I have some stark white. But when you put this with this, it goes really well. So that's why I pulled that in. The other thing is, because this is basic gray and it doesn't always suit to use a necessarily white background, it has more of gray undertones. You can still use white with that and get away with it. So if I wanted to do like my stamping on this, that would be fine too. Just, you know, I pull it in to use it. If I don't, I'm okay with the white going back into my stash because I tend to use that more than anything else. In this kit, I'll show you my stamps last. I went through my color bins and my metal drawer. Now, out of my metal supplies, I pulled in a couple of packages of brads. I have these Old American Crafts large jewel brads, and they were from a baby girl collection, and there's 8 left. I guess there were 16 to start with. There's a very light pink and a more medium pink. And so then I have these Jolly Good Chickadee Crafts. That's a company that's gone out of business, and I bought it at a discount store. There's 2 packages in there, but I feel like a lot of those colors will match. These brads are Bo Bunny, and they are a recent purchase from Tuesday Morning, and you can see bought them at a discount store, but I feel like they match fairly well. So from the metal, there's that. Also, I pulled in these flare badges. These are old Valentine's Day badges, and they have the little clips on the back side, but those are easy enough to remove. It just takes a little work with a good steady hand and a pair of pliers. But I'm hoping to get some of these used up. These might be more bright colors than what, like these paler pinks here, or this red, or this green even would probably match, but like that, I don't know. We'll see what we can do with it once we pull out the stamps and the inks and such. Metal also, these are from my stash of brads. Now these brads all have gemstones on the end. All the solid metal ones do. if I can pick them up. And I think they're clear and white. There might be blue, but I think, and pink. They're fairly pale, and I think they'll blend with whatever they're with. And then I found that one acrylic one in there. So I want to try and get some of those used up. And then I found hearts in 2 different sizes. I have a larger heart, and then I have a smaller heart. And those are just silver. And so I want to try and get some of those used up. I would love to get them all used up. I think that's it as far as metal embellishments go. I went into my washi tape next, and I pulled in green because I felt like the green would be just a nice accent color, so I pulled that in, as well as this red heart washi tape. I've had it for a long time. It's a Duck brand, and I've never used it for using on scrapbooking or card making, so I'm going to try and get it used this time, or some of it used up. Then I went into my I call it my bling drawer. It has my enamel dots and my bling. It has my all that kind of jazz. And so I pulled in these different things. I have red hearts. These are close to my heart. I have these sparkly faceted gemstones, and those are also close to my heart, called glitter gems. And then these faceted solid color in pink and red, also close to my heart. So I'm hoping to get a bunch of those used. If I don't get them all used up, that's fine too. Then I went into my color bins. First I went into my red color bin. I pulled in my red stickles, pulled in this leftover bag of buttons from Dress It Up Valentine Collection, True Love. Yeah, so I have those. And then I pulled in all of these doodads. There are journal spots from journal pieces that I've cut apart, little paper sacks, things that I have printed and fussy cut out. That's an old journal spot, but it's great for layering. Same here. Pulled in these linen tags. These are from Target, from the dollar spot. I don't see a year on there, but I've had them for a long time. Just never had a use for them. A tag. These are shipping labels I've printed and fussy cut. More of those journaling pieces. That's something that I've cut out. Those are tags. These are leftover bits from Ellie Studio. These are all little bits that I have either punched or are left over from different things, as well as tags. This is a lot of leftover bling that was in my red color bin, and I'm going to try and get a lot of that used up. Butterflies from Jenny Boleyn. Hearts. These are enamel hearts. These are from Recollections. These are the more red, and these are the peachy pink and darker pink colors. And then just a piece of tissue paper that I want to try and use somehow. So you can see I pulled in a ton of embellishments from my color bin. If I don't get it all used, that's okay. It can go back into the red color bin, but I really wanted to focus on using out of that color bin. Next, I went into my pink color bin, and I pulled in this pink, it's like Stickles, but it is called Scribbles, and it's a 3D paint, and it has more of a rosy tone, but I feel like it can match that fairly well. Then I pulled in this set of Studio Calico buttons, and there's just tons of random buttons in there. I'm going to try and get some of those used up. I went into, oh sorry, the red color bin had red buttons that I pulled out of a jar that I have in there. And then also out of my pink color bin, these are random bits and pieces. I have unicorns, I have sequin flowers, I have brads, I have these big acrylic flowers, I have metal bits. So there's a lot of different embellishments in there that I'm going to try and get used up. And then in my pink, also from the pink color bin, I have these things that I have cut out on vellum from my silhouette, using the silhouette. This is an old Felt Fusion borders that I have left over, probably my last 2 pink ones, I think. More of those vellum pieces. I have random acetate pieces. I actually printed that on acetate and cut it out. It was a freebie from someone. heart stickers, more acetate and punch out pieces and journal spots, more stuff. More stuff. These are titles that say you are my everything. There's one that says brilliant, or no, sorry, darling. This one says unique. Heart, or not heart. Pink glitter paper, not glitter paper, shimmer paper, and I think it's Basil shimmer paper, but it's pink, and there's gifts cut out. A little label that says be mine. More of those acetate pieces. A set of tags from K & Company, but the colors all match really well with that basic gray. More of the journal spots in the form of like tags. And these are from an old company called Gen X, and they are actually fabric adhesive strips. And so I'm going to try and get some of those used up. But they might be a little bit brighter than what's on there, but I could conceivably use them on just plain white cardstock if I choose to. I'm going to try and get a lot of this product used. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. And it's not going to hurt my feelings to not get all of it used. But I'm going to do my best to get what I can used. And lastly, I have stamps that I have added in. And I have a ton of stamps. Let me move all that to the side there. And I'll show you those stamps. First is this one called Quick Cards Butterfly. Now this is a close to my heart stamp, as all of these are. I did not go through my stamps of life. I decided that the close to my heart would be sufficient because I have so many of them. Cute little stamp there. This one is called Adore. Also from close to my heart. It just says I adore you and has that cute heart with the floral accent. This one I love. It says love your face, and that's my favorite sentiment on here is I love your face. And it's okay. Hey, you matter. Actually, you can. So great sentiments on there. So not just Valentine's cards, but good sentiments for encouragement. This one is called Love Life, and there's all kinds of phrases and words. You color my world, anything for you, priceless, you're precious to me, and XOXO. So that's going to be a lot of fun to use. This one that says mad about you, it says over the moon in love with you, you're sweet, love to love you, I love you, happy Valentine's Day, and then of course mad about you. This one is a Happy Valentine's Stamp of the Month, and it has with all my heart, and then smitten down here, and Happy Valentine's Day. And I love those flowers. They can be stamped and then colored in. This one is called Beloved Bouquet, and it was a Stamp of the Month, and I have not used this one. But as you can see, it has great sentiments and great layering. It's got the background or shaded portion of a flower and then the outline of the flower and leaves as well. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. Love you. You mean so much to me. Thinking of you. Just wonderful little sentiments there. And then this one is called Adore You, and it was also a Stamp of the Month. And it says, you will forever be my always. Be mine, Valentine. I love you. I love you. Thank you, and you make me happy. And then, of course, Adore You and XO with a beautiful heart with the floral, another floral image, and a smaller one and a smaller heart. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stamp sets to go with this kit, and then all of the embellishments in here to go along with it. So I'm hoping to not only make Valentine's Day cards, but also maybe a couple of birthday cards to go along. So anyway, I'll be right back with the actual 12 cards that I create. Okay, I'm back with the cards, and I'm using this True Love by Basic Gray. What I did was I created the 12 cards, and then I created some additional cards. And you guys know by now, when I make one, it's just as easy to make two. So a lot of when I go through here, you'll see 2 cards at a time. These were pre-made labels that were added into the kit, and then I just stamped on them. I stamped my envelope and colored that in, and just stamped some simple sentiments on the inside. Used tons of the embellishments that I had added in. Not so much of the, I say embellishments, like my enamel dots, my acrylic pieces, my metal brads, that kind of thing, the bling, these hearts. I used a ton of stuff like that. Both of these really simple to create. Yeah, and I will have a process video up here in a couple of days to show you all of the cards. I created 4 actually like this. These were a crazy mess, and I don't know what I was thinking when I tried them, but I tried them, and so it's good. I can say I did, and we're good there. But yeah, there's that shaker in it. There's an acrylic piece or acetate piece from some old packaging. Yeah, and I pulled out some foam. What is that? Fun foam, I believe it's called. And this is the kind that does not have the adhesive on it. It comes in big 12 by or 14 by 12 sheets or something. Anywho, I cut that up and ran it through my die cutter to create these. You'll see on the process video. Did some stamping on the inside and on the envelope. All of these are stamped the same. And I just, whatever scraps that I had, I punched the hearts out of. Yeah. So there's those 4. And then these 2. And I actually used up a ton of paper. And I will show you guys my leftovers here in just a minute. Simple stamp on the front of the envelope. Nothing fancy there. I just love how those turned out. And then of course the hearts here, like on the first set, I stamped those, cut them out, colored them, added in an additional stamp there. I was going to add a pattern paper behind there, but because I had not used that solid green washi tape, I decided to use that behind there to pick up the green in the flowers and just use a different green on the inside. So there are the original 12 cards that I created with my kit. Either I love yous or for Valentine's Day. And I'm looking forward to giving out to the grandkids and nieces and nephews. But you guys know me. 12 is never enough. Plus I had leftovers, so I went hard and heavy creating even more cards. These are really simple, but they're a little bit bumpy with the buttons here because I doubled up the button. I have the larger button on the bottom and then the smaller heart button on top. I just pulled in some twine that sits on my desktop and used that to thread the buttons. And I got out an embossing folder. It is an older one that I've had for a while, and it is called Courtyard. I'm guessing there were 2 in this package when I first bought it, but this one was called, well, it's roses, you can obviously see. Yeah, and it's the kind where you can emboss or deboss. So I did that with some of the cardstock, and you can see one trick to doing that, and you'll see me do it in the video, on the process video, is you spray it with just a little bit of water, give it a second to soak in, and then run it through, and that way your paper doesn't crumble and crack when it goes through. Oh, and there's a little bit of tape there. Anywho, so yeah, really simple. Both of these cards are the exact same. Not rocket science, guys, when I'm doing these cards. These I only used 1 strip of pattern paper down the side of each. Otherwise, the rest of it is from like all of the color bin embellishment type stuff. I added in the tags. These are pre-printed, a little sack, an acetate piece, a journaling stuff, and I added it all in, stamped the inside and the envelope. Oh, and there's a hair stuck to that. Awesome. Love it when my hair gets stuck in the glue. yeah, so I felt like when I got to these two, I had not used enough of the stuff that I had added in for my color bin, so that's why I went so heavy with these two. Added a little staple here on top just to kind of maintain that string a little bit. These two I love. Now these, I took a couple of the Ellie Studio pieces that I had left over, some of the cutout circles that were from my red color bin, put some of the acrylic hearts on there, and then put in some random, I have brads, I have bling, I have flat back pearls, I have the jeweled pieces here, and then this of course I stamped and fussy cut, and then I have the metal, what do you call them, that were clips that go on, and you just pull that off. It's fairly simple if you have the right tool. And I love this because it has all the different colors in it. And I actually made, I thought I made 3 of those, just 2. And I love this. I have to tell you this story. I had been stamping and I had a couple of extra of these. I stamped and cut out 4. And one of them, as I was making these, one of them fell off the desk and kind of landed under my desk. I thought I'll pick it up in a minute because I was gluing all this stuff down and didn't want to lose pace. And so in the meantime, one of my puppies came and she gathered this up, gathered one of these up and took it and ate it. You gotta love puppies. You know, you just gotta love puppies. They're quite the handful. Again, really simple cards, but I really like how they came out with that embossed background. Simple on the inside. Oh, and I stamped the envelope and colored that little rose. And these were also a mess. Shaker cards. Although I did get my big heart sequins in here, I added the sequins into the kit at a later point when I decided I wanted to make those first shaker cards. Yeah, and I have some bigger hearts that I added into these. Really simple, nothing fancy. And then finally, these 2. So yeah. There's another 12, so I got a total of 24 cards with what I had left of this paper stack. And I will show you, let me get these out of the way. I will show you what I have left over from my kit. So, as far as paper goes, there's still quite a bit here that I could probably make a few more cards out of, but I'm done. You know, when I get down to this, I get to a point where I'm tired of looking at the stuff, so I'm done. I did what I wanted to in accomplishing getting this paper pad used up, because it's been in my stash for a long time. Paper-wise, as far as the cardstock goes, between that paper pad and all of these papers, I used about 30 sheets of pattern paper and cardstock. I counted about 4 of these to make one 12 by 12, so I counted that as 1, and an 8.5 by 11 I count as 1. So when you take 2 of these and you put them like this, that's an 8.5 by 11, and so 2 of these I counted as 1 sheet of paper. So you can see these are the colors that I have left. Yes, those pinks are slightly different, but I did use a ton of paper. I had one little paper pack that had this color in it, and I used all of it. There were originally 25 sheets, and I had pulled one out for something else. So the other 24 I used for all of my card bases. Okay, so there you go. I did not use the white. I did use this color, and I did use this color. So, and like I said, I added in my sequins. These are flat sequins, and then I had these little heart sequins. I remembered them as an afterthought when I was wanting to do the shaker cards. I saw a shaker card online that I thought, oh, I can do that. Yeah, it didn't work out quite that way. This is the little bits of embellishments here that I wanted to get used up, and I did not use the first thing out of here. So it will go back into my pink color bin. Red buttons, I used quite a few of the big ones, which I always have a harder time using. So that's good. Brads, these were the ones with the little crystals on them, and I used a lot of the smaller ones. These are the larger heart brads. I used a bunch of those. And the smaller heart brads, I used a bunch of those. So overall, I got a bunch used. That's that one sheet or one package of the rose quartz that I use for my bases. These brads I did not use. These brads I did not use. These brads I did not use. I used a couple of the flare badges that I added in. I did not use the Scribbles 3D paint or these stickles. I did not use this washi tape. I did use all of these. So all of my greens got used at least once, and then of course that's leftover. All of my bling, leftover bling, will go back in my red color bin. The pinks, they're not enamel, they're like acrylic faceted gems. The hearts, and then the red, all of that will go back into my stash. And finally, all of my goodies that I pulled from my color bins. Now, I did have these larger border strips, and I did not use any of them. These I thought would match, but they really didn't, so they didn't get used at all. Pink wise, I still have a couple of those Ellie Studio little round tags. I have quite a few of the Valentine's Day, they're called dimensional stickers. They're almost like an epoxy sticker. I did not use any of these buttons. Those were two of the hearts I cut out for my shakers. And I have most of the like random embellishments that I had added in. And I really only used a couple of those journal pieces there. And then here I used a couple of those tags. I used a couple of those. I used some of these heart buttons. And then all of these paper embellishments, like those labels I used. Yeah, and a couple of the bags I used. I have all of that left to go back in my stash, and I'm okay with that. I did use all of my stamps. There's this one, this one, this one, that one, that one, that one, and I don't believe I had used this one before today, or before I created with these. And finally this one. So all of my stamps got used. I did pull in some dies as far as making the shaker cards go, but yeah, and I pulled in these dimensional pieces from Dollar Tree. I heard Janet from RTS talking about them, and they come in this size. I don't have the front of the package, but they started unwinding, so I kept them in this piece. I don't know that they're photo safe, but I felt like for cards they could be okay. They cut well. They're kind of gummy in the package, but they're not going to deter me from using them on cards, because the foam tape that I used with my scrapbooking is pretty pricey for the huge roll. So I'll use that for my scrapbooking. I will use these from now on for the card making. Anyway, that's it. That's what I created. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I appreciate you watching my video. If you liked what you saw, I hope you'll flip me a thumbs up. Anyway, guys, I will see you on the next video. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.